Wog! It's wog. Wa-a-g. Wog. Try it again.
For the Emperor.
But the guy did.
These grots are never gonna learn. Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast Anyway. I'm old Big Mek. These are two of me grots, and in this video, we are gonna teach you how to play Kidhammer. Yeah. All right, boys, are you ready to play a game of Warhammer?
Yeah.
All right, looks like you got a board set out here with some terrain on it and a couple of armies. Why don't you tell me about yours?
Mine? Okay.
Uh-huh.
These are the Ultramarines, obviously. And this is my Lieutenant, Charger Squad, Weavers, Intercessors, and Bikers.
Nice, and you painted those all yourself?
Yes.
All right, and what do you have over here?
This is the Tau. These are like my crisis suits.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, he's my Cold Star Commando. He has a fist, unlike most Tau. And then my broadside over here, and with two shield strands, a rocket launcher, and a railgun, and my scout squad. Oh, and my stealth squad.
All right, and you painted all these yourself too?
Yep.
All right. Now, what do you boys love most about Warhammer?
Fighting!
I gotta play with Hoden.
All right. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to fight. Not like that, with your armies. Not like that either. Put them down. Somebody fed those two too much red squig. It gives you wog. That, of course, is my t-shirt design. You can find it in my Teespring store, linked in the description below and on the channel, which is a design we came up with that's a riff on Red Bull, obviously. Anyways, to finally get to the point, we're going to teach you how to play Kidhammer. Now, there's some rules to Kidhammer, but the important thing is they're all in your head. They're not written down. So to start with, you need a couple of kids. Are you two both kids? Close enough. Anyways, you need a board, some terrain, and a couple of armies. Really, the amount of armies doesn't matter. You could play Kidhammer with just a couple of guys, a single squad, a whole army, a whole bunch of armies. It's all what you make of it. And really, the whole idea is you set it down, one kid gets one side, one kid gets the other side, and then you start going. So, boys, roll to see who goes first.
3, 4.
All right, so nice and simple. You let them roll a d6. It gives them agency to what's going on. The person who wins gets to go first. Now, what's the first thing you do in Kidhammer?
Move.
That's right, move. So move some of your guys.
Okay, so I'm gonna move this guy up to try to get into the charging phase.
All right. All right, so you notice that he wasn't using a ruler. Now, as they get more advanced and they play more games, if you want to move to using like the little kill team measuring sticks, that's all great. Basically, you just kind of a little bit of movement for anything on foot, anything that goes faster like a bike or a jetpack equipped thing, double the amount. The idea isn't to get caught up in the semantics of it. It's to get the game going as quick as humanly possible because it's all about the fun. Kidhammer is supposed to be fun. You're trying to get your kids to engage in this hobby and have a good time with it. All right, what comes after moving?
Shooting.
That's right. All right, what are you going to shoot with first?
I'm gonna use my
Your commander in battle suit?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so you're going to shoot at the Reavers over there?
bike squad.
Okay, shoot them at the bike squad. So roll 6 dice. You want to roll them right here so everyone can see? All right, and what are you looking for?
4s or better.
That's right. So get rid of all your ones that are misses and then roll your wounds. And what are you looking for wounds?
4s or better.
That's right. All right, looks like a couple of wounds. So a couple armor saves. Woo, we got some loaded dice there, buddy. So again, you'll notice we weren't checking stat lines. We're not measuring distances. You're on a tiny board. Whatever can shoot, can shoot. There's no cover or anything like that, right? You want to get out of the mindset of a rule book and get more in the mindset of like a DM for a Dungeons and Dragons game. What you want to do here is the parent or the person facilitating the Kidhammer is you want them to have a good time and feel good about it. So the basics are 4s are easy, right? So if you make everything 4 better, it's easier for the kids to remember. it's an easy 50-50 chance and everything. It keeps the math a little easier. And so, yeah, you just force to hit, force to wound, force to save on everything. Once they've gotten that down and they start getting more advanced, you could change it up a little. So we've gotten to the point now where if he's shooting like a broadside, right, it might wound on 3s instead of 4s. Same thing with his armor save. His armor save might be a 3 instead of a 4. So you can start gradually introducing more nuanced mechanics and more rules as they age and get better at it and understand the game more. But for your first few games, just set them up, scooch them around, and throw some dice. All right, looks like you failed a couple armor saves there. What happens to your bikes?
They lose some wounds.
That's right. So normally we would do 1 wound per model, but these guys have obviously been playing for a little bit. We understand that the bikes have 2 wounds. So since he failed 3 armor saves, 1 biker is defeated and 1 has a wound left on it. An important thing we found with Kidhammer over the years is to never say dead. You want to say defeated, because the whole big point of it is that you can always play another game. You almost want to come at it from an orc standpoint, right? The point isn't whether or not you win or lose. The point is you had a great time fighting, and no matter what happens, you can do it again. So their most beloved model isn't gone, right? You can just play with it again. All right, so after they've had a couple of turns and they've done some shooting, they made it up the board, what comes next?
Charging.
That's right, charging phase. So what are you charging with?
I'm gonna make this guy punch these guys.
All right, charge on in.
How much dice?
You have to move it first, bud.
Yeah.
There you go, get him into the base combat. All right, and then he's a pretty big guy, so probably 6 dice. All right, you got some hits. All right, got 3 wounds, so 3 armor saves. Well, looks like we missed a couple more, so 1 more goes down, just the sergeant left. All right, so he's attacked back with 2 dice. Looks like he got a hit. Oh no, an unlucky miss. So an important thing to remember here is, because you're trying to be like a DM and make sure the kids have fun, is to make sure they're both enjoying it and having a good time. If one kid is rolling really hot dice and really blasting the other one off the table, you want to try to correct that a little, you know, maybe make it a little harder for them to shoot as things progress, or, you know, have some more epicness happen. You ideally want every game to end with like 1 guy on each side whacking the snot out of each other for the victory. It's all about epic moments and having fun. All right, so we're down to this epic finish. We've got the Cold Star Commander versus a Lieutenant and a Sergeant, and the other Commander versus a Lieutenant and a Sergeant. And it was your turn, so looks like you got some attacks to do there. You've got 2 from this guy and 3 from this guy. That's 5 attacks. Oh, only 1 hit, unlucky, but it's an automatic wound on that one plus a double. So there you go. That's 2 armor saves. And with just 1 wound left... Oh no, the Cold Star Commander goes down. Defeated. So as you saw, we're down to an epic moment and some of the options available to you, right? So changing the hit rolls to make them easier or harder depending on who you need to get back even, changing wound rolls, changing armor saves, doing things like having exploding 6s, so they either auto hit or they cause an extra hit, automatically wound, or even both if somebody is far behind. Again, you're looking for an epic moment so that you get down to like just their 2 best things left. All right, we're down to the epic finale. We've got a Lieutenant with 1 wound left versus the Commander with 1 wound left for the victory. All right, let's see what you got. Oh no, you missed. Command reroll.
Does that kill him?
No.
It's with my command reroll.
Oh, super lucky, an automatic wound. All right, you've got 2 attacks back to see if you can seal the victory for the Emperor. Oh no, that one's a miss and 1 hit. Okay, roll your 1 wound. You wounded. All right, now it's down to this armor save. You make it, you survive. You fail, and the Tau have lost the day. You made it. All right, your turn to attack back. Oh no, a miss, and you're out of your command rerolls. All right, bud, last shot. Ooh, double hit. See if you wound. Double wound. Oh no, 2 armor saves. This might be it for the Tau. Oh, well, that's that.
Good game.
That's right, because what happens if you lose a game?
Just, you always play another one.
That's right. Because good sportsmanship is the number one rule of Kidhammer. It's all about having fun. And no matter what happens with the game, even if you lose the epic bout, you can always set them up and play it all over again. That's the most fun thing about it. What do you say, guys? You want another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Wog!
Let's get good.
For the
They'll get it right one of these days. Anyways, Wog on! All right, what you just saw was me filming a thing of Kidhammer with the kids and trying to explain it. And as I was watching and editing and going back, I realized that we missed a lot of it. And some of that has to do with you're just sitting there with kids in the moment. Some of it has to do with you shouldn't really know all the rules. You can only earmuff so many things. And some of it has to do with just realizing that my Grots have actually played Kidhammer a lot, and so they've kind of progressed a little bit and kind of know how things happen that I didn't really explain. So I wanted to come here at the end and finish this out. So the basics of it are you want to have fun. This is obviously a lot easier if it's, one kid versus an adult, or the adult is playing with the kids, like maybe you got a three-way going on. The adult can parse the action out, right? You roll your dice and go, oh, my guy's only hit on fives, or, if you're really getting behind, my guy's hit on threes, or whatever the case may be. But again, the whole point of Kidhammer is to have as much fun as possible and just roll the dice. Like, don't get caught up in it. Don't overthink it. When we started really with just one squad. It was almost like mini kill team run anything else, but the squad had to stay together. But you'd have one squad on one squad on the other side, and everything was just fours, right? And it made it really easy. And even because you had the same number of guys, right? If he had 5 guys, I had 5 guys, and that was that. As their armies got bigger, as they got more into building and painting and understanding differences on things, we were able to introduce more concepts, such as the bikes and the jetpacks going twice as far as the guys on feet, such as leaders having more wounds than a regular guy, right? A regular guy, hey, you failed your armor save, he's dead. Your captain fails the armor save, that's going to be a little harder to stomach. So, you give them a couple of wounds to start with, maybe 2. Sometimes we went to 3. I think nowadays we're up to like 4, depending on who the leaders are, because they've got levels of leaders now, right? He's got captains and lieutenants. And so, like, the captain has 4, but the lieutenants have 3, But it's all things that you are in control of. Because, again, like I said in the other portion, you're more like a DM, you're more like a dungeon master than you are a player or a rule savant, right? It's about getting the kids to have fun. So don't worry about missions, don't worry about measuring, really, if you want to. It's all about you move the guys, they shoot things, and then they charge. Now, when it comes to the shooting, what we do is we basically just count the weapons. So, the battlesuit got 6 shots, because if you looked at it, he had 3 guns, and each gun got 2 shots, right? That's 6 shots. So, which is great, because you start introducing some basic math to the kids. And, you go from there. And then when we started off in the close combat, it was everybody got 1, unless they had a sword, So a guy with a bolter had 1 attack, a guy with a sword and a pistol has 2 attacks, right? Pretty easy. Again, as they progress, you can get more complicated with it. You could even get to the point where you're starting to use maybe some of their real stat lines. So, maybe his lieutenant with the the storm shield and the pistol, he might have 3 attacks, and his lieutenant with the the big bolter only has 2 attacks, right? And it's you just introduce more of those concepts as they get more advanced. If you introduce it doesn't work, roll it back. It's okay. It's okay to roll it back. It's okay to go, oh, no, like I had it wrong that time, or really it works better if everybody just has 3 or 4, whatever the number is you come up with. I have found that generally it's better to roll lots of dice and not have them do a whole lot, because it makes the game feel more substantial, right? If you're rolling 10 dice to hit and 5 dice to wound and 2 armor saves, but at the end of all of that, like, only 1 thing has fallen over, you're doing it right, because you really want them to move their guys around and enjoy them and use them. Conversely, if your Grots don't have the greatest of attention spans, you can go the other way and make it where just everything blows everything off on the board. We've done that before, where they've wanted to have huge battles with like their whole armies, and the one with the Ultramarines, he's got about 3,000 points worth at this point. So that's a pretty big size game. It was like everything was hitting and wounding on 2s. And that game went a lot faster because we were just chucking stuff off the board. And he didn't have time to get upset about it because he had so many things on the board that was like, oh, but these guys are like right there. And these guys are coming in from reserves, right? Which is another concept you could introduce as their armies get bigger. So like with the stealth suits, they have that little like counter for where they can come in. So what we've introduced is, at the beginning of the game on setup, he puts that counter down where he wants them to come in. And then on the second or third turn, he can choose to have them pop out there, right? And so that's like a version of Deep Strike and having fun with it. So again, the whole point of the rules is you move, you shoot, you assault. You move, you shoot, you assault, over and over again. You did see that at one point there was a command point, or command reroll. We don't keep track of command points. We don't keep track of victory points or anything like that. But everybody once a game gets to do a reroll. So if it's some really big super thing like, oh, I really want to kill this guy, or really want my guy to live, you just give him the reroll. And that tends to work really well. Now that we're getting to where the games are bigger, we might have to go to like once per round on that, especially if we're doing a larger game. So I hope that answers all the questions about Kidhammer. Again, it's real loosey-goosey, and if you have, hard times with that, that's okay. Throw down any questions in the comments below. I'm happy to help any parents, or guardians, or, others out there that are helping kids with Warhammer set up to have a fun game. And these rules obviously work for Age of Sigmar and everything else too. Instead of shooting blasters, you're shooting crossbows and bows and arrows, right? Like, it's the same thing. So it's kind of just this universal thing that you can do with your miniatures so that you can start having fun. And that's what it's all about. You want them to have fun. You want them to enjoy the hobby. You want them to be excited to build something and paint something and add it to their display shelf and play games with it and be excited about Warhammer, because that's more time that they're spending doing something that's imaginative and in person and with somebody else, and less time they're spending on a screen. Like you saw, they built and painted all of those. Now, yeah, they get help from the parents, right? They can't clip every little part out, and sometimes they can't glue all the parts out, and sometimes they make a mistake on painting, and it's okay for you to come in and help them touch up their mistake. It really is. It's still their paint job. It's still their army. They still get ownership of it, and it's going to make them excited to do the next thing and progress. And if you go and I showed you their units, there's a big difference in painting skill from their first units to their newest units, because even though they're not watching YouTube and they're not learning, proper techniques and this and that, just the repetition is helping them get better. They're getting less gloppy on their paint. They're getting more control on where they're putting it. They're even trying harder things. The ones started painting knee pads on the Ultramarines and making the little, 4-square symbol with the 2 whites and the 2 blues. And that was pretty cool. That was all on him. I had no idea he was even doing it. He's like, I saw this picture in my codex and I thought I would try it. It was like, man, that's really awesome, especially, you're only 8. So the more fun you can make it for them, the more interested they're going to be in it, the more that they're going to want to continue to do it. Go out there, give Kidhammer a try. If you got any questions, let me know. If you're running into anything, let me know. But don't be afraid to make stuff up on the fly. Don't be afraid to change the rules as the game progresses in order to keep it even for the kids. And don't be afraid to go, you know what, let's just start over. Let's have another game. Because again, they're not truly dead forever, right? They're defeated only for that game, and you can always play another one. Just like the orcs say, we never lose. If you win, you win. If you die fighting, and it doesn't count. And if you run away, you can always come back for another go. And that's what the kids do too. So thanks for watching that. Thanks for being with us here this Orktober. I had a new video every single day this month. You can click all the stuff to help us out. Would really appreciate it. Likes and shares and things like that. We do have a merch store now with Teespring with our Red Squig Gives You Wog shirts, which those guys filmed a hilarious little commercial bit for. You should totally check that video out. And we got a couple of these left for Orktober. And until next time, wog on.